Hello, my name is Demetria. This is Kate. We did our project on where the bisons roam, fall activity patterns, and elevation. So the introduction, so American bisons are a keystone species in North American grasslands, where they're known for shaping our ecosystems through their grazing and movement patterns. So we focused on the fall activity patterns in bison to understand how environmental factors influence their behavior. So relates to our main question, do American bisons show different fall daily activity patterns based on their location and elevation? Um, we chose this question because understanding how elevation influences bison activity helps explain how they adapt to different environments and support conservation management. So it would provide insight into how bison adjust their activity to changing environments and supports previous findings that elevation and temperature affect animal movement and grazing behavior. So the methods we used basically Snapshot USA data tool, and we basically, we examined all states using this tool, locating bison detection, and found activity only in Montana, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Using this tool, we calculated hourly detection rates for each state and compared their activity patterns by time of day. And we also recorded average elevation for each site to analyze how elevation is related to bison activity patterns.
This is our first graph that we generated. It is a activity pattern through hour of day for bison. Like Dimitri said, out of the 300 camera sites, only 5 of them have detected these animals across the continental United States. Those are Montana, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Montana and Kansas, we seem to have a separate bias for times of day for highest activity ranges. In Kansas, our red line there's a preference for about 7 or 8 in the morning. In Montana, there's a peak at around 1800 hours in the evening. And then Oklahoma is kind of the oddball here. There's a bit of activity through all times of day. It doesn't really change too terribly much throughout midday. These activity patterns provoked a new question for us, kind of focusing whether or not there was a relationship between these daily patterns and elevation, and then therefore the average temperature of those ranges. This is our elevation graph. There's only about, 200, 300 meters of difference here between these sites. But there is a clear trend. The higher detection rates are found in the lower elevations. This is likely just because there's more bison in these areas. It's easier for them to get to. They're big animals. They're not going to, frequent the higher, more treacherous areas. This provoked a kind of new association with temperature because higher elevations are usually colder. This led to an investigation between the years. So we kind of focused on 2019 versus 2024. 2019 was the first year Snapshot USA collected data, and 2024 was the most recently completed year of data collection. We chose these years to kind of figure out if there was a difference year to year. They kind of gave us the broadest spectrum to see if that difference was showing up. Activity pattern wise, there wasn't a huge change over the years. They're kind of doing the same things at the same time. That hasn't really changed at all. And we looked next at mean yearly temperature.
So this graph shows the relationship between mean temperature and daily bison detections during the fall season for 2019 and 2024. We see that the detections increase as temperature rises, especially in the 2024. This suggests that during the fall, bisons were more active and more often detected in warmer regions, possibly because mild temperatures extended their grazing and movement periods. Although there were limitations as it was only a fall data set, which kind of made our results become biased, but overall the data we collected, it showed the 5 sites support the conclusion that there is a temporal bias in activity across all 3 states. Further elevation and temperature data would indicate that these differences may be due to the American bison's ability to adapt its environment and human influence. For further research, if others can like volunteer to do this data set where we can get more sites, would actually prove more results for this. And these are our reference. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.